Thank you. Good afternoon, and thank you all for joining us here today. Standing with me are representatives from an extraordinary coalition of local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies. Together, we represent a united front in the fight to protect children from online predators. This is what collaboration looks like. The Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force Program, otherwise known as ICAC, was developed by the U.S. Department of Justice Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. The program supports law enforcement agencies across the nation in investigating crimes committed against youth on the Internet. The Los Angeles Regional ICAC Task Force, which LAPD has the privilege to lead, is one of the largest in the nation, with 108 law enforcement task force partners. Our region covers 5 Southern California counties: Los Angeles, Orange, San Bernardino, Santa Barbara, and Ventura. Today we're here to announce the results of Operation Spring Cleaning, a large-scale enforcement effort that took place between April 6th and April 19th of this year. The goal was to identify and arrest predators who are using the Internet to sexually exploit children and to rescue young victims from abuse. The operation was carried out in 2 phases. The first phase consisted of proactive undercover investigations on various social media platforms where suspects were attempting to lure or groom children. The second phase involved the service of multiple residential search warrants and arrest warrants, targeting suspects involved in producing, distributing, or possessing child sexual abuse material and those preying on children online. I'm proud to share the results of this work during the operational period. 27 children were rescued from ongoing abuse. 265 suspects were identified and taken into custody. We also reached over 1,000 parents and children through internet safety training, equipping families with knowledge to safely navigate the digital world. The crimes these suspects were arrested for include possession, distribution, and production of child sexual abuse material, sending obscene material to minors for sexual gratification, lewd acts and oral copulation with the minor, attempting to meet a minor for sex, human trafficking, indecent exposure, child annoyance, failing to register as a sex offender, and various violations of probation and parole conditions by convicted sex offenders. These are not just numbers. These are lives saved, futures restored, and predators removed from our neighborhoods. Operation Spring Cleaning is a powerful example of what we can achieve when agencies come together with a shared mission. The members of the LA ICAC Task Force, along with many law enforcement partners, deserve our deepest gratitude. Their dedication, compassion, and professionalism are unmatched. And just a side comment, you can only imagine how difficult this job is for the detectives who work together to be able to prosecute these cases, to be able to put the cases together for a presentation for prosecution. It's horrible stuff to deal with, but they do it because it saves lives, and they know what these victims are being exposed to on a daily basis. As a community, we must continue to stand with these brave professionals. It's our collective responsibility to protect children and hold those who exploit them accountable. So let's work together, law enforcement, parents, educators, and tech companies, to create a safer digital environment for our children. I'd now like to introduce the Los Angeles County District Attorney, Nathan Hochman.
Thank you very much, Chief McDonnell. It should go without saying that every child deserves to grow up without fear or exploitation. It should also go without saying that any adult who commits a crime against a child is stealing their innocence and likely causing them a lifetime of harm. The District Attorney's Office participated with the united front you see besides me and behind me of local, state, and federal prosecutors in Operation Spring Cleaning. I actually think the name Operation Spring Cleaning is too nice. I would actually call this Operation Sick and Depraved Cleaning, because that's exactly what the people who are engaged in these crimes, these internet crimes against children, are doing. It should go without saying that these individuals who are producing this child sexual abuse material, who are distributing it, or who are possessing it, And when we're talking about possessing it, we're talking often in the hundreds or thousands of video and image levels. This group of individuals are sick and depraved, and they need to understand something. They might try to use the technology to hide. They might use fake names. They might use fake IP protocols. But it turns out that law enforcement is just that good. Law enforcement will track them down using the same tools of technology to find out who these producers are, these distributors are, these possessors of this child sexual abuse material, and bring them to justice. Because these cases are not just about numbers. Every one of these children that are in these videos or these images are someone's son or daughter or cousin or sibling. These are often children who are 1, 2, 3 years old, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. Everyone who is watching this knows and can visualize someone who's at that age that we are supposed to protect. We are supposed to make sure that this population of children understand that law enforcement will protect them against these predators, and we will. So let today be a very, very loud warning call that if you are one of these sick and depraved people that produce, distribute, or possess this child sexual abuse material, that we are coming after you. So go get help right now. Stop what you're doing, or you will be arrested and you will be punished to the full extent of the law. It is now my opportunity to introduce Central District United States Attorney Bill Asaley.
Good afternoon. Sometimes when we talk about the large numbers of arrests that are made, it's hard to grasp the magnitude and severity of the individual cases. So I'm going to highlight one individual case that my office worked with LAPD and FBI to arrest, and that was the individual, Mr. Henry Ayala, for producing child pornography. Mr. Ayala targeted and groomed children, particularly young girls, in online chat forums to create sexually explicit videos for his own gratification. Ayala is part of a network called 764, which is a nihilistic, violent, extremist movement that preys upon children online, targeting them to create sexually explicit videos and showing them engaging in self-harm, such as cutting themselves or forcing them to vomit. The goal of this despicable movement is to accelerate the decay and downfall of society. Members of 764 often exploit their victims, threatening to release explicit videos if the victims stop complying with their demands. This is an extremely alarming and serious trend that we're seeing online. Protecting children in our community is a top priority of the Department of Justice. I will tell you, it is one of the priorities of the Attorney General herself, Attorney General Bondi. And she's made it clear that these cases will be aggressively pursued by our office. We will work with all law enforcement partners, state, local, and federal, to identify and aggressively prosecute members of this network and all who prey upon children. I also want to send a message to the community members, particularly parents. Parents need to understand the threats their children face online, particularly in online forums, especially on social media where any adult can contact your children. Predators are online. They will often pose as children or other people to get minors to engage with them and to groom them. Parents need to be extremely vigilant. Please monitor your children's online activities. Better yet, get your kids offline. Get them offline, get them off the internet, and get them outside. Nothing good is going to come from them talking to strangers online. Thank you very much.
Afternoon, everyone. My name is Manny Sid. I'm the police chief in the city of Glendale, and fortunate to be a part of the work that's being done here. Appreciate everybody coming out to highlight this important work. I'd like to begin by thanking the LAPD and Chief McDonnell for their leadership in this effort, as well as all of our law enforcement partners, really from across the Southern California region that you see here with us today. The partnership and collective commitment to combating internet crimes against our most vulnerable people in our communities are children. More specifically, I'd like to thank and acknowledge all of our investigators, analysts, and partners whose commitment and tireless work has resulted in the arrest of dozens of child predators, including 18 violators by the Glendale Police Department. Each of these arrests don't just represent a statistic, but a young life impacted. In a world increasingly connected by technology, as we all know, the internet offers tremendous benefits and opportunities for education, communication, and growth. However, as has been highlighted, it also presents unique challenges and dangers, particularly for our youth. Predators can lurk in the shadows, taking advantage of children, often exploiting them in ways that leave deep emotional scars or even worse. It is our collective responsibility to ensure that our children can navigate this digital landscape. To that end, I urge every member of our community, particularly our parents, to join us in this important work. As a parent of 2 teenage daughters myself, we must be proactive in discussing internet safety with our children. Encourage open communication. Let them know that they can come to us with their concerns without fear of judgment. So, to all our community members, know that law enforcement is here to partner with you, and together we can ensure a safer environment for all of our children where they can explore, learn, and grow without fear of danger lurking behind their screens. Lastly, let this operation and the ongoing efforts of law enforcement serve as a clear message to anyone attempting to prey on the youth of our communities. This will not be tolerated. Not in Glendale, not in LA County, not anywhere across the Southern California region. We in law enforcement stand united in an effort. Together we will bring our resources to bear to aggressively pursue child predators and sex offenders and bring them to justice. Again, I want to express my deepest gratitude to everyone involved in this operation, from the officers and staff on the front lines to the leadership of the involved agencies. I think the dedication and commitment displayed by all of these folks is commendable and inspiring. It's now my honor to introduce Burbank Police Chief Rafael Quintero.
Good afternoon. Chief Rafael Quintero with the Burbank Police Department. I'd like to first thank Chief McDonnell and recognize our local, state, and federal partners that are here today. Together through the ICAC Task Force, we are united in one goal, and as you've heard here, protecting children from online predators. I want to commend the investigators, prosecutors, and support staff who do this difficult work every day. Their commitment and relentless pursuit of justice is the reason that we are able to identify, locate, and arrest those who target children in the digital world. I would like to highlight one of our recent cases which shows just how critical this work is. In March, our detectives investigated a man known online as Mr. Joints. He used social media platforms such as Instagram, Snapchat, and others to contact underage girls offering alcohol and marijuana in exchange for sex. He used fake profiles, posed as a teenager, even followed local schools to target students. But thanks to the work of our Domestic and Family Crimes Unit and support from Homeland Security, we identified him as 36-year-old Saul Alfaro. Alfaro is now in federal custody, charged with multiple offenses involving minors, some as young as 12. This case involved over 25 search warrants and uncovered communications with 9 victims across Burbank, Glendale, and surrounding communities in Los Angeles County. It's a clear reminder that these predators are out there, but so are we. To the public, the community, talk to your children about who they're interacting with online. Stay engaged. Your awareness can make the difference. And to those who believe that they can hide behind a screen, you are not invisible. We will find you and hold you accountable. Thank you. I'd like to now introduce Lieutenant Robin Richards from LAPD.
Thank you, Chief. I am Lieutenant Robin Richards, the ICAC commander for the LA Regional ICAC. Thanks for being here this afternoon. I want to express my sincere gratitude to the dedicated sworn and civilian members of the Los Angeles Regional ICAC Task Force. Your work during the 2-week period of Operation Spring Cleaning has been nothing short of extraordinary. Because of your efforts, 265 predators were have been brought to justice, and 27 victims have been rescued. Thanks to your unwavering commitment, the communities of Santa Barbara, Ventura, Los Angeles, San Bernardino, and Orange County can feel a little safer knowing that there are professionals like you working relentlessly to protect the most vulnerable among us, our children. And to the predators out there, know this: there are dedicated teams who will not stop. We are committed and will continue to fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. While the 2-week period for the operation has concluded, the mission for the LA ICAC Task Force continues, which is to rescue children, identify and arrest child predators. And with that, we'll open for a few questions.
Where are the survivors, Alex stating back, where are the survivors right now?
So when we identify a victim, we have support services that go out with us on our operations, and each station, each municipality, they have different resources that go out to them. For us, LAPD, Department of Children and Family Services, whenever we are doing an investigation and we are aware that the children might be in the home, Department of Children and Family Service does go out with us on our operations.
Are they being treated for trauma-informed treatment?
Absolutely. And along with DCFS, there are other non-governmental organizations that assist with this recovery, bringing them back into the mainstream of society.
LT, concerning the number of arrests, is this indicative of the fact that the pattern of the process of crime is spreading, or you're getting better at detecting it?
I would say it's a little both. We do have some very good technology that we use, and we have some very dedicated investigators. And I would say, along with the technology, it's dedicated investigators that we have working with us that help us to accomplish this goal, sir.
To Mr. Hochman and to the U.S. Attorney, if you would, either one of you want to take a stand on this one. What are the type of penalties that these people are getting if they're engaging in these kind of activities in your name?
So the individuals who are engaging in possessing, distributing, or producing this child sexual abuse material face up to a 16-month, 2, 3, or 5-year prison term per violation. So again, we're going to find out how that will play out over the next number of months as we bring these arrests into actual charges and eventually convictions.
Any indication that these are first-timers, or if they've got a multiple track record or multiple offenses? If it does, what happens to the penalties?
Again, if you actually have a prior offense, the high term can be increased. So we're going to see over, again, the next number of months as these arrests turn into charges and eventually convictions, what ultimately courts are going to sentence people to.
To the U.S. Attorney, how do you guys fit in on this one? Yeah. Literally, who decides who gets what case?
Yeah, it's a true partnership. I mean, we evaluate it with our law enforcement partners, and we decide when it's appropriate. Sometimes the nature of the case, it's better for it to go to the state side. They have better tools and are able to convict them faster. If it's a more complicated case, if it crosses state borders, it'd be more appropriate for FBI or our office to handle. Also, you have different degrees of actors. So you have some people who may just be possessing this material, and in the federal system, they're looking at years in federal prison. If you're actually producing it or getting kids to produce this, you're looking at decades in federal prison time. So it's a complicated issue, but we work with our partners and we decide when it's appropriate to take cases federally.
From an overall perspective, what's the split between people operating locally or operating across state lines or even internationally?
You know, with the internet now, it's everyone is almost talking to someone across state borders. So we are just seeing an uptake of this across the country. This organization I talked about earlier started in Texas, and it's spreading throughout the country. So we have offices all looking into this now. But when a child is talking to someone online, they could be talking to them from anywhere within the United States or even internationally. You just don't know.
How tough is it to get the message to the parents literally saying, you have to watch what your kids are doing on their phone or their computer at home? They
Yeah.
gotta watch like the kid. You've also got to give him the tools. How tough is it to get that message across?
I think it's getting across. I think most parents understand now that the internet is a dangerous form for their kids. It's no longer you have to worry about your kid being approached by a stranger outside. You have to wonder about who they're talking to online. I think for parents, it was a period of catching up. They're not familiar with all the apps the kids are using, whether it's Snapchat, Instagram, or other messaging devices. And now what we find, and a lot of parents are learning too, that even in games, when you think your kid's just playing a game, there's a chat function and forums on the gaming systems as well. So you've got to really look at everything your kids are doing. I think there was other hands.
And if I may add to your question, sir, we have a three-pronged approach to this problem. Number one, we educate law enforcement to better conduct these investigations. We work with prosecutions to bring justice to the victims. And third, we have what's called public awareness, forums like this where we highlight the work we're doing to the community, and we have relationship with different schools, different organizations where we go out and do internet safe presentation. And as the chief said in his presentation, there were close to 1,000 members in the community being trained over that 2-week operation. And that's our way of trying to get the information out to the community as best we can.
Lieutenant Richards,
Yes,
could you
sir.
please be specific about the kind of services that the victims are receiving?
Yes, like I said earlier, Department of Children and Family Services, there are other non-governmental organizations that we work with. So once we know there's a victim, we would refer them, and then they will continue those services with the victims.
What kind of services?
Getting them back, whether it's getting them ready for court, whether it's taking them to the hospital, whatever the need is based on those therapists that are at those organizations. They speak with the kids, they know what their needs are, and they treat them accordingly, sir.
Any other questions?
Yeah, one more.
Okay, we'll go
Okay,
right here.
Mr. Bill Staley, with all these people being arrested, do you have an idea how many of them, after they pass their time on a federal prison, how many of them are going to be deported?
Well, it depends on their immigration status. If they're here in the country unlawfully, they will be deported, all of them. So, but we're not insinuating that all of these offenders are undocumented or illegal. I don't know the number of how many of them are.
Gentlemen, one last question, if you would. You've got these 255 arrests, but is this almost like when you get these people, is it almost like peeling the onion? You keep finding more cases the deeper you go into it and more, if you will, tentacles out there?
Sir, yes, in some cases, that's what we see. We have some predators, what we call in industry, sharing information. So once we get one predator, through the investigation, it leads us somewhere else. So that's not uncommon for us to find that type of investigation, sir. I'm not going to stand here and say that's all investigations, but to answer your question directly, there are times when one investigation leads us to other predators who are preying on kids.
So basically what you're doing, this 2-week program here, when it's done, guess what? Your work isn't even close to being done.
No, sir, and that's why I said earlier, the work is not finished. The dedicated investigators behind you, yes, we're still working at this, sir.
Okay, we'll do last question.
Okay. Are you looking into parental awareness, and were any of the parents among those who were arrested?
I don't want to go into details into some investigation, but yes, some of our investigation we find that there were close family members in the homes that the victims were.